During my imprisonment in Guantanamo Bay, for the first maybe 1.5 years, we were subject to physical beating and psychological abuse, which was common, and it was done to every detainee from what I'm aware of. But the music torture never started until General Miller came. When General Miller came, I think it was 2003, probably mid 2003, General Miller came. He came and became general of the camp, and that's when the psychological, the physical torture became much worse. It became enhanced. Also, music torture was introduced during his period. Before Miller came, there was obviously beatings. We would go to interrogation, we would get beaten up, and so forth and so on. But we was not ever put into any stress positions. It's only when Miller came, they start introducing stress positions. Then a few weeks later, they start introducing music torture. So I experienced music torture maybe 1.5 years after I was in Guantanamo, and it was during the period of General Miller. The first time I experienced music torture myself was, I think it was in the period of 2003, late period of 2003. There was a video that emerged of Osama bin Laden giving a talk prior to 9/11, and in this video, apparently, there was 3 individuals who the Americans said that it was me and Asif and Shafiq, my 2 friends. The quality of video was very, very poor. So as Americans are stupid, they pick any 3 individuals and say these 3 are you, and they didn't resemble us in any way whatsoever. But the American government was adamant that me, Asif and Shafiq were involved in the plot of 9/11. So we had knowledge of 9/11 before it took place. The video was taken of the 1st of the 8th of 2000, the year 2000, so a year before. So during this video that emerged, we were subjected to music torture for the first time. I can remember going to my booth, my interrogation booth. It was a very small room, maybe 4 meters by 3 meters. It had a table in the middle, and we had a plastic chair. Usually, sometimes when you go, you have a normal chair, and it has padding, cushion on. But this day, it was a plastic chair, and it was a different interrogation booth. There was no carpet. It was all lino. So if you spill water, you can be easily mopped. And there was a mirror on one side of the wall, which was a 2-way mirror. So there was another room, I think they call it the control room, which they have the CCTV cameras and all the recording equipment, and they have maybe two soldiers sitting behind the mirror. There was an interrogator, and obviously the interrogation went normal from the beginning. Same things again, asking me why I was in Afghanistan, who I am, and so forth. As always, it's quite normal. Then they brought this allegation out that they said they have evidence against me, Asif and Shafiq, that we were in Afghanistan. They know for a fact that we were. So they showed me this video and the stills, the photos of the video. And obviously, I was sure that it was not me in the video, and the time wouldn't match up. The dates wouldn't match up, because I can remember that in 2000, in August, I was working. And at the same time, I was in trouble with the police, the authorities in this country. So I had to go to sign on every week. I was on bail. So I know that it's impossible for me to be in Afghanistan. And I was trying to explain this to them, but they was having none of it. So they, first of all, obviously, the punching, the kicking started. Grabbing my ears, pulling my hair, pulling my beard, slapping me about. Then my chair was removed, so I was made to stand up. The setup is, you have a 3-piece suit, which is the shackles, which are on the feet. Then you have a metal chain coming straight from your feet to your waist, which goes around the waist, and attached to the waist part you have the handcuffs. Okay, just like you see in the American films, or if you've seen the videos, clips of the detainees. There's exactly the same method. On the floor they have a hook which is built in the floor, a hook that stands out. They get a padlock and they hook the chains, your feet shackles, to that hook. Then what they did, they got a separate pair of handcuffs. They uncuffed my hands, and there was 2 soldiers, one holding my hand and the other holding the other, and there's another soldier with the other pair of handcuffs. they make me squat. So for example, they make you squat, like, can I show you? Yeah, they make you squat. For example, this is the floor. So this is the floor, this chair, and you're on your toes. There's a hook here, like this. Your chain is hooked to this, okay? Your hands, they put underneath, like this. The other one as well, forcefully. They handcuff your wrists, and they hook the middle part of the chain here to that hook. So you can't move up, and you're stuck. So you're in this position for maybe a day, maybe a couple of hours, maybe 2 days. And you can't go forward because there's no enough slack in the chain to go forward or to go backwards, because it's so tight, like this. So you have to be in that position. So if you fall backwards, if you fall backwards like this, when you like that, it digs into your arms. If you go forward, it cuts into your back of your ankles. Okay, so that's the position you would be in for literally for maybe the most time I've been through it. It was for, I think, 2 days, near enough like 2 days in a row, and that continued for the period of maybe 3 to 5 months. Continuously, it happened, and obviously you can't sleep, you can't eat. If you need to defecate or urinate, you would have to do it there on yourself. It was really humiliating for us, very embarrassing. And afterwards, they introduced the dogs.
But they kept you all the time in
this position, in the same room, and at the same time, they would go sometimes for many hours, leave you there on your own. Then they would come back and ask you questions. Later on, few days later, they put the music on, heavy, loud, very. For me personally, I experienced Eminem, his music, and they had it on for. When I first heard it, it was very bizarre, because you think, why on earth have they put Eminem on? That's the very first thought you have. Why have they put music on? Maybe they've just left it on by accident. But it's very loud, because you're in a confined room, a very small room, and it's very loud. And in the early stages, when you are in this position, you can concentrate and kind of blank your mind from the pain, because you've got physical pain. This is just like your back hurts, your leg hurts, you have cramps. Physically you're in pain, but not psychologically. And you can think of things that can take away the pain. You can think about your girlfriend, you can think about your family. You can block this out. But once they introduced the music torture, you couldn't think, because the music was so loud in your ears. All you could hear is banging, and after a while, really loud music, it's not music anymore. It becomes just noise, and you can hear every single instrument banging away. So instead of being pleasure to your ears, it becomes very harsh, very intense. The music's very hard in your ears, and all you can hear is like bang, 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 ding, 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 and it just plays with your mind. You start imagining things, you start hallucinating, and you can't think straight. You can't focus on a certain thing to take that pain away. So that's the psychological side of it.
And how long was the music on?
For hours. Sometimes it would be days. Sometimes a day and a half, 2 days. The maximum is 2 days I've been through. I know detainees who've been through it much longer period. Sometimes it would be half an hour. Sometimes it would be maybe 5 minutes.
And the room was dark, or?
The room, they would be dark. Lights off. Sometimes there would be strobe lights. Like when you go to discos, you have the flashing light. 10 flashes 1 second. They would have that right in front of your eyes, and very loud music, as you've probably seen in the film, in The Road to Guantanamo. The same scenario.
But were interrogators present?
Sometimes they would come for maybe 10-20 minutes, and while you are in that position and the loud music, they would scream and ask you questions. Tell me you're Al Qaeda. Say to me you're Al Qaeda. Say you know Bin Laden. Tell me where he is. Things like that.